Edmonton, Alberta, inside the Team Sweden and Team USA dressing rooms before the game that will decide Group B. We are thankful tonight to be able to bring you one last hockey game in 2020, a little diversion from the weight of this year. We are more thankful to all those Canadians who sacrificed to help us make it through the year. Almost New Year, Canada, from Edmonton, Alberta. Not sure we've ever anticipated the end of a year more, but we ended on a fun note here from Edmonton. A terrific matchup for the last game in group play of the World Juniors. Team Sweden against Team USA. Hello once again, Canada. Welcome to the last night of 2020, the last game of 2020, the last game of group play here at the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship. James Duthie and Bob McKenzie. And what's on the line? Well, everything in Group B. The Swedes can win the group if they win the hockey game tonight. The Americans can win the group if they win in regulation. Heck, even the Russians can still win the group if the Americans win in overtime or a shootout. To get you ready for it, Gord Miller and Ray Ferraro.
Trevor Zegras of the United States led this tournament in assists last year with 9, and Ray, he's been even better this year.
I think an obvious step physically for him. The tournament last year was fantastic. Now, like most players that get to go year to year, there's a physical maturity, more assertiveness to his game, more surety to what he wants to do. He plays the game, though, with imagination and creativity. I think he's NHL ready. The Anaheim Ducks must be thrilled with his performance in this tournament. Bob Murray, the general manager, said when he came to the tournament, they wanted to see him take the next step. I think he's taken it. 5 goals and 5 assists. He's been brilliant.
Sweden's winning streak ended last night. Prior to that, their last loss was 15 years ago today on New Year's Eve on home ice to Team USA. Jack Johnson scored the overtime winner that night.
And the end of the streak might be a good thing for these kids. Gets a little burden off their back of the pressure of all the failures in the playoff round. If they're to make a run at gold this year, who will lead them there?
Well, if the Americans are their most dangerous when Trevor Zegras is on the ice, then there's no question the Swedes are the most dangerous when Lucas Raymond and Alexander Holtz are out there. Raymond, first-round pick of the Detroit Red Wings. Holtz, first-round pick of the New Jersey Devils. Raymond is a playmaker who's a good shooter. Holtz is a really good shooter who's a good playmaker. They're dual threats, and they are going to be dangerous every time they're on the ice. And Matthew Beniers' line will be going head-to-head with them to try and shut them down tonight.
Gord was talking about that remarkable Swedish streak that spanned 14 years. They beat the Americans twice in group play, but in the medal round, the Americans were 5-1 against Sweden over that span. They meet right after this.
The 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton, Alberta is brought to you in part by Esso. The Esso brand has fueled Canada's love of hockey for over 80 years. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey teams. By TELUS, helping build stronger communities on and off the ice. When we give back together, we're all connected for good. And by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Team Canada. The 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton, Alberta is brought to you in part by Chevrolet. Find new reasons to cheer. Find new roads.
And so we come to the end of the preliminary round of this 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship as Sweden takes on the United States in Group B action. Sweden right now a point behind Russia for top spot in the group. Referees are Tyson Stewart from Almont, Ontario, Olivier Gouin from Laval, Quebec, Nathan Van Oosten from Vancouver, and Kelsey Mahoney from Narrow, Manitoba are the linesmen. Starting in goal for Team USA is 19-year-old Spencer Knight, the first-round pick of the Florida Panthers in 2019, posted a shutout against the Czech Republic in the last game for Team USA. And for the Swedes, Hugo Alnefelt returns to the goal. Faced limited shots in a 4-0 win over Austria. There's Nate Lehman, the head coach of Team USA. He was behind the bench the last time before last night the Swedes lost in the preliminary round. That was back on New Year's Eve 2006. Joel Ronmark is the head coach of the Swedes, taking over for Thomas Monton, who was unable to participate in this tournament after a positive COVID test. Swedes have won the last 2 meetings, and 3 of the last 4 they did not meet last year.
Boys, let's finish 2020 right here.
And here we go with the last hockey game of 2020. York ahead to goalie. It's already 2021 in Sweden. Albert Johansson plays out ahead. The Kostmar, who was right in the middle of things in Sweden's 4-3 overtime loss to Russia last night, flips it back in.
The Swedes had a really slow start against Russia last night. They took a long time to get into the game. Outshot only by a couple in the first period, but territorially they were chasing the game.
Scored a late tying goal to force OT, but lost it in the extra period. Their first loss in 55 opening round games at the World Junior.
And they were asking the players about it after, and they all kind of said the same thing. They don't really care about the streak. Gord, you had the point that a lot of these kids were 4 years old when the streak started. It doesn't mean anything to them, nor does it mean anything for the tournament.
But talking to some of our Swedish colleagues, they do think that might be a benefit, that the streak was weighing on teams, players being asked for every year, even though it had little to do with them. The shot goes in and Alderfelt from the corner, and the United States takes the lead 1 minute and 9 seconds in, as that sharp angle shot taken by Drew Hellison finds its way in.
This goal has an odor on it for sure. Just a long flipping, and Alderfelt bunts it to the corner. He's not ready for the shot from Hellison. The defenseman jumps in after it and just throws it to the net. It hits the inside of the pad of the Tampa Bay draft choice, and Drew Hellison's behind the goal line. He's the most surprised guy in the building, and it's 1-0 U.S. But Alderfelt doesn't catch that dump in, or else there's no puck to play. So he deflects it into the corner. Hellison throws it to the front of the net, and it's 1-0.
So we talked about the Swedish prospects here. Should the United States win this game, they would vault over Russia and Sweden in the top spot in Group B and play Slovakia in the quarters. You don't want to know what happens if the United States wins in overtime or a shootout.
I'll leave that to you.
Let's cross that bridge when we get to it. So an early American lead. The United States opened with a 5-3 loss to Russia. Then 2 shutout victories. 11-0 against Austria, 7-0 against the Czechs. U.S. was 6th last year in this tournament, their worst finish in 9 years. Zegras works in a backhand pass was off his skate just wide.
And the Swedes are going to be rattled. Alderfelt's going to be rattled. And
now Zegras centers with Kaliev with his shot off the glove of Alderfelt. Turcotte leaves it down. Arthur Kaliev trying to take that freight. And it's moved out by Elmer Soderblom, the big 6'7", 230-pound, 19-year-old Swedish forward. Run. Up ahead to Slaggert. Rink wide pass to Sam Colangelo, who scored on his birthday the other day. Colangelo. Spins it back at the point. There's Hellison, another shot. And this time Alderfelt's got it, and he hangs on.
well, that one he's able to stop and jump on it. Alderfelt was on the bench last night when Jesper Wallstedt played against the Russians. Here's this goal as Farinacci just shoots this puck in from distance, and Hellison jumps on it, and you see it hit the right inside of the pad and bounces into the net. Not a very good goal for Alderfelt to give up.
There's another long shot.
He doesn't even see that one. He's shaking his head a little bit here. Rough start for Hugo Alderfelt.
Another shot from Hellison that time. He plays at Boston College for the legendary head coach, Jerry York. Brink plays it back to Hellison. Might as well shoot again. He does. It goes off a shin pad. Jake Sanderson, first-round pick of Ottawa. 5th overall in the last NHL draft. Ahead for Brink with a shot that goes off the leg. And Ray, if you're on the American bench right now, you're shooting, right?
Oh, you're not thinking about too much. Everybody is wondering if the goaltender, Alderfelt, is in the game or not, or if he's going to be a little shaky.
Lacombe up for Cole. Caulfield turns it over. Chance for Lucas Raymond. In shoots, and the stop made by Knight. Jackson Lacombe sprawled in front of that as well as Caulfield chips it in. Moving in with Matt Beniers. Beniers, the youngest player in this American roster, eligible for the upcoming draft, takes the puck behind the net. Beniers, back to York. Cam York, a shot that's deflected, goes just wide.
Time of the goal, 109.
And York back with it. Had 3 assists in the winning of the Czech Republic at Cam York. And Philip Broberg's out there, the captain for Sweden, who was, it looked like at the end, Ray, playing on one leg against the Russians last night, really laboring late.
Yeah, he didn't look very good at the end of the game. Here's Lucas Raymond, Detroit, number 4 overall pick, in on the forecheck, and he runs right over Clevin behind the net, and the puck's going to pop right to him. And Raymond, who had a bucket load of chances earlier in this tournament, just couldn't get anything to go. He's got 1 goal in the second game of this tournament against Austria. He had 10 shots. His 10th one was the one that went into the net.
It's a long day.
That is a long day. You can tell yourself, hey, I've had a good day, but when you're 0 for 9, it's not so good.
Zegras sends that rink wide. That long shot deflected wide. Oh, my God. Another sharp angle shot. Good shot from the near corner from Zegras, and it's 2-0, and you wonder if the Swedes will make a change here.
Well, they got the young coach, Joel Ronmark, is standing behind the bench. I know if I'm standing there, Jesper Wallstedt is coming into the game. He's given up 2 goals from almost impossible angles. Large rebound off the deflected puck. This is on the boards from the outside hash mark. Even if you don't want to take Alnefelt out, man, that can't go in. I mean, that just can't go in. Put Wallstedt in the net. Tell Alnefelt to walk down the hallway, get a drink of water, and put him back in if you want, but I would have him out of the net for sure.
Zegras, by the way, with his goal, ties Canada's Dylan Cousins for the goal and point lead in the tournament with 6 goals and 11 points overall. Wow.
I mean, you haven't even got out of the blocks yet, and it's tough to overcome 1 bad goal. Now you've got to overcome 2.
Sweden's won 1 gold medal in this tournament in the last 40 years. Despite the long 54-game opening round winning streak, one of the biggest issues for them over the years, they've been out goaltending.
Well, they're going to have to go some to get themselves back into it. There's the draft prospect, Jesper Wallstedt, who gave up 4 goals and 35 shots last night. Zegras doesn't have a play, so he's going to get it back to the net. And when you are hot, man, do those goals go in from all over the place. Short side, roof, and it's 2-0.
A U.S. win in regulation would set up a Sweden-Finland quarterfinal matchup.
The Winnipeg Jets first-rounder with a block shot late in the 3rd period. He left and did not return. That would be a critical loss for the Finns.
Oh, Blumler comes in, flipped that wide of the goal. There's Thrum. Up ahead to Brink. Bobby Brink slaps that by Holtzman down the ice. An icing call against Team USA. Trevor Zegras was picked 9th overall by Anaheim in the 2019 draft. He's now tied Mike Modano and Brian Ralston for 4th on the Americans' all-time point list at the World Junior. Jordan Schrader, who played in 3 for Team USA, is the leader at 27.
The Ducks wanted Zegras to come back to this tournament, to be a leader, to expand his game on the terrific tournament he had last year. And man, he has been fantastic.
Back of the point, here is Soderstrom. Tees it up and shoots, and Knight kicks that away. Gerard moves around Sunsvik, gets flushed back by Holt, and goes across to Thrum. Out to center ice, chopped down by Brink. And Albert Johansson, the Detroit second-rounder, picks it up. There are 5 Detroit prospects playing for Sweden. And that shooting goes off the glass, up and out of play. There would be more, if not for a couple of positive COVID tests before the Swedes came over.
1:09 into the game. Alnefelt doesn't handle the long shoot-in, and Drew Hellison scores. This shot is deflected to the corner, and this is from the other side off the boards, and Trevor Zegras has fired this into the net, too.
So the Americans have taken 5 shots. 2 have gone in for a 2-0 lead. Off the draw. Busting in is Oscar Olofsson. Couldn't get a shot away. Sanderson took that away. And back comes Turcotte with Zegras and Kaliev. A centering pass rolls down to Alnefelt. He hangs on to that. As Turcotte goes sliding into the Swedish goal.
Nice little give and go from Turcotte outside to Zegras, and he's going to go through the middle. Look how quickly Zegras puts that puck on his stick. Turcotte doesn't field it, and Soderstrom and Turcotte end up in the net. Alex Turcotte, the 5th overall pick of the 2019 draft by the Kings, felt that he really pressed in last year's tournament. He wanted to have a more impactful tournament this year. He's only had points in 1 of the 3 games.
Here comes Hellison.
Shoot it again.
Pass goes off his skate.
I'm not even kidding, Gord. Like, just shovel it at the net. You got people there.
Caulfield throws that through the middle, picked off. Moved ahead by Hedstrom, Ludvig Hedstrom. Lines out ahead for Emil Heineman. Heineman back at the point. A quick shot there from Johansson, kicked away.
Spencer Knight was pulled in the first game of the tournament. He gave up 4 goals in 32 minutes against Russia. He was outstanding in their last game. Looked sharp, controlled just about everything.
2-0, United States leads here in Edmonton.
The Swedes come out of the gate with a 7-1 win over the Czechs and a 4-0 shutout over Austria. They lose 4-3 in overtime to Russia, and they're a new coaching staff with 30-year-old Joel Ronmark. They got to dig out of a hole. And the fan zone in Sweden are hoping they're going to see some of it, as the Swedes have yet to really get their legs in the first 6-7 minutes of this game.
Getting late in Sweden, which will be the host nation. That long shot is taken by Berzelius, kicked away by Knight. 2 years from now, or 3 years from now, rather. Next year, Edmonton gets it back, then Novosibirsk, Russia, and then Gothenburg, Sweden for the 2024 tournament. A little backhand shot by Slager, goes wide. Now Colangelo is centering pass. Alnefelt was spilled there. The Swedes hollering for a penalty. Lacombe.
Well, the contact made in the goal crease by Brendan Brisson. The Swedes thought there should have been a goaltender interference penalty.
Brisson back for Lacombe. Jackson Lacombe winds in, can't get a shot away. Now Colangelo back with it. He shoots. It's off the stick of knee, backing out. And a sharp angle shot taken there by Tyler Clevin is stopped by Alnefelt.
Alnefelt looking for an answer, as well as Brendan Brisson will go through the crease. That's a penalty. He's standing in the crease and can't run into the goaltender. I don't really know why that would not be called. So Brisson just slides back to the bench, and the game remains at 5-on-5.
Kaliev taps that back for Zegras to York along wrist shot. Alnefelt can't hold it. Look to the side of the goal, and Turcotte almost poked that home.
He's an adventure in there in this first period. Man, I feel for him, because you know he's rattled, and he's trying to calm himself down. That's a 50-foot wrist shot that hits him in the chest, and it's chaos after that.
Here's Holtz with it now. Long shooting bounces to Knight, he'll hang on. We talked about the Swedes' preliminary round winning streak ending last night. Their last loss prior to that was in overtime to the U.S. Their last regulation loss was in the 05 tournament. In December of 2004, they lost.
And you see him scramble back into position, too. He doesn't control the puck. Now watch when he gets back up. He's going to race back into the net. Oh, man, he gets some help there in front of the net from Victor Soderstrom. He scrambles back, falls down going into the net, and he's got to take a couple of deep breaths here and try and recompose himself.
Faber. Wave pass. Johansson stepped in front of Caulfield. Icing waved off. The Swedes are hollering about that. Here's Soderstrom with it. Break wide pass. Holmstrom chips it in. Faber goes back. Holmstrom takes it away from him. Beniers to Kosmar in hard. And now Beniers through center ice. Winds in as the Americans get fresh D out. Front works in. He lost the puck for a sharp angle. Caulfield unloads. Hollenfeld makes the stop, and there's no rebound. So the shots keep piling up for Team USA in a 2-0 lead here in the first.
Gord, a little bit like the first period yesterday, minus the bad goals. The Swedes a little bit behind. They're not moving the puck. I thought after they went into the intermission, they came back, they were aggressive. That top line of Holtz and Raymond in particular started to get going a little bit. They were attacking with the puck, and they really put Russia back on their heels. They got to get back to that, or this game's going to get out of reach.
Soderblom moves it in, knocked down by Ryan Johnson. Up ahead, Berard with it. Now he's got a man wide open in front. Couldn't get it to Bobby Brink. Oof. Knight pounces on it with Heineman bearing in on him.
Closed captioning of the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship is brought to you in part by Bet99.net, Canada's newest destination for free sports information, odds, and casino. Every game starts at Bet99.
The Alberta Legislature here in Edmonton. We say Happy New Year to all of you watching in Canada, and God Nytt År to those of Swedish heritage. Here's Johnson with it. Here's Raymond with Holtz. Lucas Raymond across for Holtz. He missed on the one-timer. And through all of this, Sweden's a shot away from getting back in the game. Thrun up for Johnson. Drops it back for Henry Thrun. He was at Harvard last year. He's back in the USHL this year because Harvard's not playing. Doing a steal remotely. 6 American players haven't played at all this year. We thought the European teams might have an early advantage in the tournament because most of their players have played. Centering pass for Brisson, knocked away by Alnefeld.
Canada only had 5, and I would say today was by far their best game. What a unbelievable 40 minutes. They just stormed the Finns in those first 2 periods.
Fired down by Hellison. A long pass up to center ice is knocked down by Brisson, and Sanderson drops it back. Slaggert snaps that pass rink wide. Bounces away from Colangelo. Now Brisson trying to center it, gets it back. Brendan Brisson. Then back to York with a shot that goes wide. Faber ranges back. Brock Faber. So both teams changing, spins back, bangs it back to York.
Faber's a good skating defenseman, LA Kings pick who plays at the University of Minnesota. Paul Martin, ex-NHLer, is back there as a graduate assistant. He's helping those defensemen, and Faber's amongst those benefiting from Martin's education.
College football playoffs get underway tomorrow with semifinal action. Number 3 ranked Ohio State takes on number 2 Clemson. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on TSN. Notre Dame plays Alabama earlier.
This line helped get the Swedes back in the game yesterday. Kosmar was really a thorn in the side of the Russians, and Gunler scored late with one off his shin pad, but Swedes need something good to happen here.
York, the American captain, for Berard, got tied up there by Gunler. At the line, a long floating shot taken there by Hedstrom is gloved. by Knight. Spencer Knight, native of Darien, Connecticut. Had an up-and-down World Junior last year. Gave up 5 goals in his opener against Canada.
This year he starts and gets pulled 32 minutes into his first game, giving up 4 goals against Russia, and didn't play the second game. Was back in for the third one where the United States shut out the Czechs, and from the moment the puck hit him, you could tell he was dialed in. He was exceptional in that game against the Czech Republic.
Henry's front. Up after Caulfield. Beniers pokes out ahead for Boldy. Matthew Boldy walks into the slot and shoots. It's off the stick. Victor Soderstrom up and out of play.
Boldy had a good start to this tournament too. I've been impressed with how strong he is with the puck, how he leans on players and uses his size. He's a rangy guy at 6'2". Minnesota Wild are very happy with the progression for their 2019 first rounder.
He had 9 goals in 34 games as a freshman last year. He's top 10 all-time in points for the U.S. National Team Development Program, which has an under-17 and under-18 team. And here's Broberg with it. Chops it across to Holtz, and Broberg jumps into the rush. Holtz pokes at it. Taken away by Johnson, who can really skate. As you've mentioned, Ray, he comes by that, honestly.
Oh, his dad, Craig, was an outstanding skater. I played with him in Los Angeles. Now working with the LA Kings development staff.
Let's go, get it free and move it.
Turcotte kicking at it.
I'm not pulling this. Move it, boys. Keep it free. That's loose. Good job. Good job.
Now pulled out by Turcotte. Moved ahead by Holtz. Rink line for Raymond. Chips it by Hellison. Hellison ranges back. And a puck bounce free to Raymond. And taken away by Sanderson. Jake Sanderson, who can also fly. Up ahead for Slaggert. That's picked free by Hedstrom. Ludwig Hedstrom. Rink wide to Niebeck. Niebeck works in. Lost the handle. Hedstrom. Battling forward now and pulled free by Hellstrom. Hellison. Lost the puck to Niebeck. Oscar Kvist battles forward. The Swedes make some changes here. Kvist working it down low along with Niebeck. And Niebeck pulls it free. At the point here is Soderstrom. Soderstrom gets around Slaggert. Trying to center it. Sanderson stays with him. And Soderstrom leaves that back in the corner. Brissell's got it now. And Brussellia stepped into him.
I mean, there's all this work, but there's very little puck support for the Swedes. Now they're in a change, and they're gonna run out of gas here. There's 2 guys fighting against 4 U.S. sweaters, and it's not enough giddy up and go, I think, is the issue here for the Swedes. They're just sluggish getting around the ice right now.
Lacombe for Clevin. He lost the puck to Kosmar, and then Kosmar got dumped. Holmstrom trying to reach it. Now back at the point is Johansson. Ringed around for Kosmar. Kosmar got crunched there by Clevin. Players been all around the boards at the U.S. end. And now Colangelo up after Clevin. In comes Holmstrom. Slides it back. Gunnar works in. Backhand shot. And Knight handles that easily. Kosmar back with it. To the point he goes by Bjornfot and back down the ice. Americans scored twice in their first 5 shots. As Broberg works in. Broberg trying to shovel that back in front. And he doesn't look right going back up the ice.
No, he doesn't at all. He's dangling a left arm here. Man, he's had a tough tournament.
Picked up by Caulfield. He's that in the corner. Beniers battling for it. For Caulfield. Cole Caulfield. Spins and shoots off the outside of the goal post. Broberg's still out there. Long shot by Faber. That went off Caulfield and wide. Penalty coming out of Sweden. And as Raymond touches up, a high sticking call will go against the Swedes. The United States back to the power play.
Down 2-0. The Swedes are going to be shorthanded. Oosh. That high stick gets Cole Caulfield, and there's the hit by Faber as he runs Broberg out of real estate. Broberg's back out there. Spent much of the last part of that shift trying to get himself loose again. He clearly wasn't very comfortable his upper body after that hit behind the net.
So the United States on the power play is 6 for 13. Caulfield back for York. Rossi goes to Zegras down to the goal mouth. And that bounces off the stick of Boldy up and out of play.
The U.S. power play's got 6 goals in the tournament. Boldy's got a couple of them. He plays right down in front of the net or on the goal line. Scored a nifty between the legs goal earlier in this tournament. The Swedes need to kill this. They got to start putting a couple of moments of good play together here. Start building a little bit of momentum. Make themselves feel like they're in the game. Right now they're only down 2, but feels like a lot worse.
York winds it back to Caulfield. Boldy leads the way with 2 power play goals, and Caulfield gets leveled in front of the Swedish bench by Bjornfot. York drops that back to Zegras. Rossi goes to Boldy. Boldy back to York to Boldy. Kaliev with it. Down the goal mouth he goes to Boldy. Caulfield lurking in front. They feed it across to Zegras. Zegras to York. Back to Zegras. To the goal mouth to Boldy. Centering pass for Caulfield. Alnefelt down. Couldn't handle the puck. Now they don't clear it out. York to Zegras. Boldy feeds it across. That bounces away from Kaliev. And now Zegras has it back. 45 seconds to go in the American power play. And Zegras sweeps it back in deep. Edstrom played that across the Kvist and back down the ice. Niebeck. Puck was played with a high stick and play call with 30 seconds to go in the American power play.
Cole Caulfield's got some room. He wants to slide into the offensive zone, and Thomas Bjornfot closes the door here as he runs right over top of Caulfield, right in front of the Swedish bench. Bjornfot played most of last year in the American Hockey League as an 18-year-old.
Actually got 3 games with the LA Kings last year.
Yeah, right out of camp when they broke camp, and then eventually sent him back, or sent him down to their American League affiliate.
Now Colangelo for Brink. That rolls just wide. Colangelo back with it to Sanderson. Sanderson to Colangelo. Back to Jake Sanderson. Colangelo. Looks rink wide. Brisson feeds that back on a quick shot by Brink. Alnefelt makes the stop, and there's no rebound. And now a scrum develops in behind the Swedish goal.
There's been a little bit of leeway around Hugo Alnefelt today. That's the second time it's been some contact around. The first time was Brendan Brisson. This time it's going to be Turcotte as he's got the puck, and a lot of times that will be enough in international hockey to draw a penalty. Bobby Brink comes over the top here. Nice play to get open. Turcotte finds him. Alnefelt the save, and then we got a little of that.
2 shots for the United States on the power play as Andre steps back on the ice. Now a chance in front that's knocked away by Sweden's Theodor Niederbach. Soderblom reaches for it. Niederbach in the forecheck as well. And Helleson picks it up for Team USA. Drew Helleson, Colorado's second-round pick. Up turnover. Soderblom works in. Soderblom trying to hook that back in front for Olsson. Couldn't reach the puck. Now Olsson's got it. Olsson back at the point for Soderstrom. Soderstrom along wrist shot. That's tipped wide by Sundsvik. Olsson battling there with Farinacci. And now Brisson's got it back. John Farinacci, who scored a couple of goals for Team USA in the tournament so far. Doesn't get a lot of ice time, but he's made it count. Great wide pass for Berard, kicks out ahead. And back goes Broberg to pick it up. With Broberg. Fires that down the American end. Knight on it, rattles it high off the glass, and the puck goes up and out of play with 1:18 to go in the first period.
6'7", 227 pounds. Elmer Soderblom was fantastic yesterday against the Russians. Look at this effort here as he comes back in the ice. Now he opens up and he's got some room down the wing. Going to be turned aside by Sanderson. Sanderson's got decent size and Soderblom just towers over top of him. The Wings drafted him in the 6th round. He's one of these guys, I think, the bigger guys that take a little bit longer.
Oh, look out.
To put it all together. I think in a couple of years, they've got a legit NHL prospect here. How do you look past 6'7" with some pretty good hands? Plays in Frölunda in the Swedish Elite League.
He's part of this sort of core of Swedish players who won the under-18 gold medal a couple of years ago. They've got 8 players who can return next year.
You know, on the returnees stuff, I always think it's great you got 8 or 10 or whatever. They better be a couple of the good ones.
Right.
You know, if you got 11 guys and they're all your depth guys, well, that's great, but man, you're going to miss your top end guys.
Here's Zegras with it. Out for Turcotte. Talia would normally be on this line for the United States. Broberg played it back across. That goes into the penalty box with 25 seconds to go in the first.
The game's lacked a little zip here. The U.S. have been in control since the 3:58 mark when Zegras scored to give them a 2-0 lead. For a game that can decide the #1 seed here, it's not had a lot. Wow, he fought that one too.
Tiger from a sharp angle.
He went to catch it, he missed it, and hit him in the pad.
Grindler has to stop at the line, wait for teammates to get back onside. Johansson's got it as time winds down here in the period. And the United States will go to the dressing room with a 2-0 lead thanks to 2 sharp angle goals in the opening moments of the game. It's New Year's Eve in Edmonton. You're watching the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship. Our first intermission is coming up.
Jerome McGinley supports the Hockey Canada Foundation Assist Fund because he knows that when we help kids get on the ice, there's no limit to the power of play. Give an assist. Donate now.
Sophomore Slump, the new album from the Reclaws, available now. And Roots, the World Junior song, available everywhere you listen to music.
Day off tomorrow at the World Juniors for everybody, but plenty of NBA action on TSN. New Year's Day clash between the Heat and the Mavs. Action gets underway at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific on TSN. James Duthie and Bob McKenzie spending New Year's Eve with you. I have not had any beverages on New Year's Eve, I want to say, except the water I had at dinner. So you're playing for the group. Everything's on the line. And you have a start like that from your goaltender. Would you have pulled on the felt right there?
I would have been tempted. And listen, the coach always has a better idea of the feel. He knows the goaltender better than I do. But based on his performance and how shaky he looked right from the get-go, yeah, I would have made a coaching change, a goaltending change, if nothing else, just to slow things down. He didn't catch that puck bobbles it there. He's not set up on the net, so bad first goal. Okay, fair enough. Then what happens? Well, then he doesn't get over. He's got the happy feet going, doesn't get over the post quick enough. Although Zegras has been shooting peas, more on him in a few minutes. But again, here, loose puck, boom, loses control. He's not smothering pucks. He's scrambling all over the place. And even if the Swedes, when they were down 2-0, even if they made a goaltending change just to try and settle their team down, but they didn't, and he still looks a little shaky to me. And quite frankly, I would have started Wallstedt, who played last night and played so well against the Russians. And I know it's a back-to-back situation, but with the whole division on the line, I would have gone with the guy who played so well against the Russians last night, but they went with Ellenfeld, who's been their #1 guy so far.
You mentioned Zegras. What he's done is ludicrous, considering last year he was the assist king of the World Juniors, had 9 to lead the tournament, all primary assists, 0 goals, and now all he does is score goals. Is that something consciously he's done, or just puck luck?
Based on just from watching him play, yeah, he's shooting the puck a lot more. He's just letting her rip, and a lot of these are going bar down. And you're right, last year it was just like, oh, he's a great playmaker, elite. But there it is, top of the net, unbelievable. And, you know, that play that he made was a great setup and a great one. But again, he's just ripping these under the bar down. Most of them are bar down. That's 6 goals. When you talk about the best players in this tournament so far, certainly the marquee guys up front, you've got Tim Stützle from Germany, who's been just dynamic. You've got Dylan Cousins from Canada, who has 6 goals as well, and he was fantastic in the game today. And you've got Trevor Zegras, who's also got 6 goals. He's been lights out. Those are the 3 best forwards so far in this tournament.
Zegras and Cousins are tied for the tournament scoring lead. Of course, Zegras has a couple more periods to change that. And he's standing by with our Ryan Rashad.
Well, Trevor, it seemed clear early that their goaltender might be fighting it a bit. When you guys see that, do you talk to each other about just throwing pucks on net whenever you can?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, it's no secret that they played last night, so obviously we wanted to get all over them, dump pucks in, play hard, and obviously we knew the goalie also played. So yeah, kind of just throw pucks from all angles and get to the net. 20
points for you now at this event ties you for 4th all-time among Americans with Modano and Ralston. Who do you recall watching at this event and admiring? What do you make of that?
I don't really recall either of those guys, I guess, here, but I actually know the Ralston family very well. I played with Ryder for 2 years, and I got to know Brian pretty well, so I think that's pretty cool and pretty funny at the same time.
Thanks. Best of luck.
Awesome. Thank you.
These kids are so young, they don't remember any of those tournaments from more than about 6 years ago. Look at the 50-50. I think it's up $3 million from when we showed it to you during the Canadian game. $6.6 million. A reminder, you have to be in Alberta to buy tickets and to win the prize, but someone is going to be really rich to end 2020.
Ever dream of winning big? Really big. As Team Canada goes for the win, you can too with the World Juniors Online 50-50. Daily chances to win while giving back to minor hockey in Alberta. Buy your tickets at hockeycanada.ca.
Canada-Finland, the one you watched earlier, to decide Group A. Teams have split the last 6 meetings, and the winner of each of those games has gone on to win the gold medal. First period, Dylan Cousins wearing the C, and for good reason. Terrific turnover at the blue line, walks in, fires, goal. His first of 2. Canada has scored in the first 5 minutes of each of their 4 games, 1-0 after 1, but they absolutely dominated the first. They would do the exact same in the second. Andre Tourigny juggling his lines after Alex Newhook left with an injury, put Cousins between Pelche and Dylan Holloway. Pelche with the shot, goes off Holloway's leg and in, and it's 2-0 Canada. Later, Bowen Byram from the point, shot will be blocked. Peyton Krebs is there, goes between the legs to bury it as Canada cruises to a 4-1 win to win Group A.
I think the biggest thing was we were in the O zone so much and just reloading hard on pucks, and you know, it was tough for them to get into our zone, and we were tracking like we did and reloading like we did. So I think it started in the O zone and you know, just shutting them down right away on their zone entries.
Perhaps this Finnish team is not as strong as some of the ones we've seen over the past few years. They have won 3 gold medals in 7 years. But I don't remember a Canada-Finland game, certainly in the last decade, where it looked like Canada-Germany when Germany had 14 skaters.
Yeah, especially the first 40 minutes. It was just total and utter domination. And Andre Tourigny's trying to make sure the guys play the right way and that they're on the right side of the puck. And boy, they did it as well as you possibly could in that first 40 minutes. And that one particular shift in the second period when it was already 2-0, they got to every loose puck. They moved the puck extremely quickly, and the Finns just got worn down. So much so that Canada was able to have so much zone time that they were tired. They had to go off and get a line change. And the minute they got the line change, the guys came off the bench and they scored the goal. And those poor Finnish kids were out there for well over 2 minutes on that one particular shift. And that sort of encapsulated exactly what they were dealing with. Now, are there things they needed to work on? Sure, well, the Finn coach, he knows they need to work on a lot more. But, I mean, the power play, they didn't get a power play goal. Right. So they want to try and fix that for the quarterfinals. They lost Alex Newhook partway through the game to a shoulder injury, but all things being equal, they're right where they want to be going into the quarterfinals.
Let's have a look at our bracketology, which is still has some empty spaces, but we'll fill it out before the end of tonight. Canada and the Czechs is the only quarterfinal we know right now. Germany, Finland, and Slovakia still waiting for their opponents. If the U.S. won this game, if the score stayed the same, then the Americans would finish first in their group and play Slovakia. Finland would play Sweden, and Germany would play Russia. But again, long way to go here, 40 minutes left. But the Americans off to a terrific start on New Year's Eve, up 2-0. One more break, and the second just ahead with Gordon Ray.
After one period of play, the United States has a 2-0 lead thanks to sharp angle goals from Drew Hellison and Trevor Zegras. The shots were 15-9 in favor of the United States. Well, it's either a dream start for the U.S. or a nightmare for the Swedes. Which is it?
Oh, it's a nightmare for Hugo Alnefelt and the Swedes. The Swedes' most experienced goaltender had just a disastrous start. A minute into the game, the sharp angle shot from Hellison hits his pad and goes in. And then Trevor Zegras 2 minutes later makes it 2-0. But it never got any better for Alnefelt. Look at this adventure here. Saved by his defenseman. He stumbles back into the crease. He gets run into a couple of times, and once by Brisson. And here a little poke in the pads from Turcotte. The Swedes hope they can settle down much as they did against Russia last night when they played an excellent second period. They have to hope that Hugo Alnefelt settles down in goal.
Here to start the second period. Holtz launches that in. Sundsvik goes after it. Chops it back in front for Holtz. That's taken away by Kaliev. Kaliev back on this line with Zegras and Turcotte. And Brover skated by the puck for a moment. Sundsvik has it back for Raymond. Lucas Raymond. Up ahead for Sundsvik. And back down in the corner. Turcotte. Out to center ice. Sundsvik was tied up there by Kaliev. And Johansson has it back for the Swedes. In comes Raymond. The U.S. is changing. Raymond has some time. Works in. Lucas Raymond walks it and shoots. And Knight makes a stop on that.
Well, Raymond kind of slithers through the middle of the ice, and the U.S. defense, for one of the rare times, backs in deep here. York and Faber end up way back below the bottoms of the circles, and Raymond gets into a pretty good scoring spot here. Nice stop for Spencer Knight as he smothers that and hangs on.
Point shot from Soderson trickled down. There was a real debate in scouting circles about Lucas Raymond versus Alexander Holtz. They've played together for a long time. They've been line mates even. Raymond went 4th overall to Detroit. Holtz went 7th overall to New Jersey.
Holtz is more of a shooter, a pure goal scorer. Raymond's got a little more playmaking to him.
Johansson shoots and Knight kicks that away. So the Swedes applying some pressure here in the early moments of the second period. Heineman tries to seal the wall, but it's scooped up and moved out by Beniers. Beniers with a head of steam. Slides that back, and Hellison pounded that wide.
Really good rush by Beniers.
Boldy with it. Drops it off to Sanderson. Jake Sanderson. Lays it down to Beniers. Now Boldy, a sharp angle shot. Alnefelt makes the glove save and hangs on.
Boldy shoots from a sharp angle. We saw Zegras from a sharp angle kind of over where Boldy was score in the first period. And
now the face-off in the Swedish zone. Kosmar to take the draw against Slaggert, and Kosmar wins that. Pulled free by Andre. Andre tried to poke that, it was blocked by Brisson, and Slaggert plays it back in for Colangelo. Colangelo feeds that back. There's a long shot taken by Thrun, and that's gloved by Alnefelt.
well, on New Year's Eve, the U.S. coaches sporting some team shirts there.
They had team shirts the other day too that were red, white, and blue checks. They've kind of broken into the fashion here in this tournament.
It's kind of like from the Miller collection. Actually, that's the Craig Button collection right there. Craig has that, guaranteed.
Zegras plays it across. Johnson walks in, scores! Ryan Johnson makes it 3-0, Team USA.
Oh, styling now, 3-0. Ryan Johnson jumps in from the point, takes the pass, and beats Alnefelt over the glove. First goal of the tournament for Ryan Johnson. Face-off win by Turcotte. He gets some help off the draw. And this hits the left arm of Alnefelt. The Swedes commit to the middle of the ice. Nybeck wants to make sure that that is covered, but as he jumps in, the smooth skating Johnson goes to the outside, goes right around into free ice, and Alnefelt can't make the save.
I mentioned Ryan Johnson's dad, Craig, former NHLer, 8 years with the LA Kings, another year with the Anaheim Ducks. He spent a lot of time in Southern California. He also played in the 91 World Junior in Saskatoon for Team USA, along with the 94 Olympics in Lillehammer, Norway.
Wearing number 3, as his dad Craig did. Number 23, Ryan Johnson's going to take this pass. Shocker. Trevor Zegras in it. Jumps on the loose puck on the rebound. Zegras has got another point, a goal and an assist tonight. His brilliant tournament continues, and Ryan Johnson makes a terrific shot up into the top of the net.
So Zegras retakes the tournament point lead from Dylan Cousins of Canada. He's now number 4 all-time on the U.S. point list. He passes Brian Ralston and Mike Modano with his 21st career point of the World Junior. Colangelo walks in and shoots, and Alnefelt punches that away. Holtz got straightened up there by Faber. Holtz gave it right back to Faber. In comes Brisson, dropped it back. Sunsvik picked it up and feeds ahead to Raymond, along with Holtz. Holtz across to Raymond. Got it backhanded back in front, ran out of real estate. There's Andre with it. He peels back and both teams will change. Regulation win, the United States will clinch first place in Group B in a quarterfinal matchup with Slovakia. Sweden would fall to third and take on Finland. Now a breakaway. Kosmar works in, and a penalty coming up.
That's a penalty shot.
That's going to be a penalty shot. Kosmar was taken down, and now Arvid Kosmar, the Vancouver draft pick, will have a chance to get Sweden back in this game.
Kosmar was back behind the play, coming into the play, and Caulfield turns it over. There's Kosmar, re-attacks. There's the hook by Lacombe, and the right call here, the correct call is Kosmar will have a penalty shot on Spencer Knight.
And they're going to elect to have Soderstrom take it, and that's under IHF rules. They're permitted to choose whoever they like. They go with Soderstrom, the defenseman. Soderstrom in on Knight, and he lost the puck.
He had him too, as you saw Knight stumble, lose his feet. But Soderstrom kind of signifies the way this night has gone for the Swedes. He ends up dumping it into the corner. He had Knight frozen. And then as he goes to his right, watch Knight get stuck on his edges. That's in the net. However, the puck slides off his stick, and the Swedes get nothing for it.
Holmstrom. Stick of Turcotte came out. And now Kaliev back with it. With Helleson jumping in, and the play's offside at the Swedish line. Under IHF rules, you can select anyone to take a penalty shot.
So with Holtz and Raymond,
yeah,
as a possibility, obviously Victor Soderstrom must be amongst their very best. And well, he's made a terrific move. There's nothing wrong there, except he ends up losing the puck. Knight seemed to dig his edges into the ice, and as he went to move to his left, he blew a shoe and ended up on his backside.
Fired down by Sanderson. Bjornfot reaching for it. Helleson a long shot, rebound loose. Kaliev feeds it over. Turcotte scores! Alex Turcotte's got his first in the World Junior. 4-0 USA.
And now they're going to go to Volstead. This is about an hour too late. Just not Alnefeld's night. I mean, he's struggled from the very get-go. When that second one, 4 minutes in, went into the net from the corner from Zegras, that should have been it for him. But Alex Turcotte's going to get his first goal of this tournament, his first goal in 2 tournaments, as he spins back around Alnefeld. A puck that ping-pongs around, and it's now 4-0.
You played with Alex Turcotte's dad. Alfie was the first-round pick of the Montreal Canadiens, who won the Memorial Cup in 1983 with the Portland Winterhawks.
Alfie's dad, Alex's grandfather, Rial, was one of the first real skill coaches that I had ever heard of. Just a really popular, really skilled teacher of the game.
Well, Raymond falls and flips that in the corner. Holtz chops at it. 4 goals on 21 shots for Team USA as Jesper Wallstedt's now in. He allowed 4 goals on 31 shots last night against Russia. He's draft eligible in 2021, an 18-year-old. And now the question would be, I guess you'd have to ask for Sweden. Alnefeld wasn't even dressed last night as the backup. So the question is, if the Swedes do end up facing Finland in the quarterfinals, who starts?
Well, I guess you're going to take a look at how Wallstedt plays here. I thought he was really good last night. The overtime goal he has to swallow. Like, he's got to hold that, but it fell out of him, and Kuznetsov ended up winning it with 5.6 seconds left. Just 21 seconds after Victor Soderstrom stumbled on the penalty shot, the U.S. makes it 4-0, and a long night for Hugo Alnefeld is over on 21 shots.
Played well for Sweden last year at a .924 save percentage. Swedes were 3rd last year, lost a semifinal matchup to Russia, and then beat Finland in the bronze medal game. In their 13 years of that streak, they won 1 gold medal. They lost in the semifinals 6 times. That long shot just wide up Wallstedt. And then 5 times after that raid, they went on to lose the bronze medal game.
You would think in those, we always talk about how difficult those games are, but for Sweden, going in as you're the #1 seed, you've won 4 games in a row, and then it's like they lose their zip every year in the tournament. It's really hard to understand.
The gold medal came here in Alberta back in 2012 because Zibanejad scored the golden goal against Russia in the final. Got their only gold medal since 1981. Here's Broberg back with him. Shoots! That was off the glove of Knight.
This makes you think of the players missing for the Swedes as well. There would be significant players on their roster, but
Carl Henriksson, probably their top center. Alvin Druve, that was a Detroit draft pick. Now a steal by Soderblom moving in. Soderblom. Gonna throw that towards the goal, and Faber moved him off the puck. Back at the point is Broberg. Long shot that was deflected just wide. Kosmar plays it right back in. Soderblom trying to dig it free. Kosmar back with it. And Zegras tiptoes around that discarded stick. Fires the long shoot in. As Wallstedt leaves it there for Andre. Emil Andre. Long lead pass is picked off. And Kosmar has to retreat to pick it up. Pass for Gunler, icing waved off. Knight out to play it. Drops it back for Lacombe. And Colangelo turns it over. Then pokes it back to center. Brisson sweeps that down to the Swedish end. And Andre drops that back. Sundsvik. Jumps in around Lacombe. Here's Holtz back with it. And Brisson brings it back. Tomorrow, a day off of the World Junior Championship. All 4 quarterfinals were played on Saturday. Offside called at the Swedish blue line. It's 4-0 Team USA here in the second.
Cole Caulfield's got 1 goal in the tournament. He was pretty pumped when he scored the other night. Some good hands. Watch him corral this airmail across the ice. Oh. Not only is he deflected, but he stops it like a pass, and now he can continue on with the play. The Montreal Canadiens' 15th overall draft pick in 2019.
Soderstrom to the line. Sanderson keeps it alive. And Johansson lost that battle to Brink. And now Holtz goes rink wide for Raymond. In with Sundsvik, drops it back. Soderstrom, a hard shot. That's gloved by Knight.
Of the things the Swedes have not been able to do is get in front of Spencer Knight here, spend any time in the offensive zone, make it uncomfortable for him. Joel Ronmark looking for answers as the Swedes just seem to be on the outside of this game.
Puck squirted away from Hedstrom. And here's Andre with it. So the United States, a 6th place finish last year. They lost their quarterfinal matchup 1-0 to Finland. Actually had a decent preliminary round, but we were talking about before, that quarterfinal, that single elimination game, there's no second chance. Beniers plays it back, and that shot in front was blocked by Soderblom. This year, of course, there's no relegation, so Switzerland and Austria are heading home right away. And 4 quarterfinal losers will follow them a couple of days later. That long shot by Helleson is stopped there by Wallstedt.
For 4 years, teams have done amazing things to raise the Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup. But this year, ideas triumph. What would you do with $100,000 for your community?
Cole Caulfield, one of 8 returning players for Team USA who felt they had something to prove after last year. A lot of their highly touted NHL prospects didn't have a great tournament last year. Now Kaliev a long shot. He too returning the puck loose. Wallstedt down. And finally, the Swedish netminder pounces on the loose puck.
Turk got a face-off win that led to the Johnson goal, and then his first goal of the tournament in this second period has given the United States a 4-0 lead. He's had a little bit of a tough season. He went, like I guess most people have, but his had some complications in it. He went to Berlin in the German Elite League, the DEL, and while he was there, he ended up getting COVID. So, of course, that took time to heal and feel well. He got back into Los Angeles, and he's been training with the LA developmental staff there. So a year's taken him all over the place before he gets here to the World Juniors.
Jordan fought a sharp angle shot. Knight turned that away. Lead pass to Farinacci, who kicks that ahead. Back goes Bjorn, fought for it. Goldberg races that loose puck, but Faber's got it back first. Johnson out the center. Farinacci, rink line pass for Brink, but the play's offside. He's got to retreat. And Sundsvik has it back for the Swedes. Bjorn fought with it. Lead pass to Raymond. Raymond to Holtz from a sharp angle. He whistled that wide. Kosmar back with it. Drops for Soderstrom. Soderstrom's a Arizona first-round pick in 2019. Now Sundsvik a centering pass, and Kosmar flipped that high. Just nothing's gone right for Sweden tonight, has it? The 2 early goals against. They flub a penalty shot.
The big guys have been really quiet too, Gord. We haven't seen much from Holtz and Raymond.
And the puck over the glass on the shoot-in.
This line has been the Swedes' best. Here there's Kosmar and Simon Holmstrom, the Islanders' first-round pick. Kosmar ends up Hail Maryling this over the net, and it stays 4-0 U.S.
NBA and TSN continues tomorrow with a New Year's Day clash between the Heat and the Mavericks. Underway at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN. The last time Sweden lost back-to-back games in the preliminary round of the World Junior, the 2005 tournament in Grand Forks. They lost to Canada 8-1 and then 5-4 to Finland. There's a quick shot, home run goal by Soderblom, kicked away by Knight. Turcotte drops it back for Zegras. Once again, the tournament point leader, Trevor Zegras. Drops that back. Clevin plays it back in deep. Kaliev. Tangled up there with Broberg. Knocked down by Clevin, sent right back in deep. Here's Zegras with it. Walks right out, shoots short side. Volstad made the stop. Clevin, long shot. That goes right out the other side. And that was hacked high and wide by Kaliev. Turcotte to Zegras. In shoots, and Volstad got an arm on that. And the United States is all over Sweden here.
Zegras wants to go top blocker, and Volstad, 6'3", is able to make the right arm save. Watch how Zegras works his way around the zone. Upper body of Volstad closes off the short side. Zegras turned away, and so now he's going to go to the other side. And that's off the right shoulder and up into the crowd. One thing I'd look at doing here for Sweden, too, as well, Gord, is since nothing's going well for them, is move their lines around a little bit. You talk about how Holtz and Raymond always play together. Split them up for half a period. You might catch a spark. It's not forever. It's just to see if you can change the complexion of this game a little bit. Because before long, you're going to run out of road here.
They've added an assist on the Turcotte goal to Zegras, and now he's got 22 career points. Here's Faber tied with James Van Riemsdyk for third all-time for the U.S. Caulfield back to Faber with a shot that was blocked. Holtz has it back and flips it over the head of Faber back down the ice. Icing called against the Swedes.
Just about everything he's touched in this tournament has been gold. The most productive player in the tournament. Of course, Dylan Cousins having a great run for Canada, and Tim Stützle has single-handedly pushed the Germans back into a position where they were able to get a win with J.J. Peterka's hat trick yesterday. 5 points from Stützle and a win that put them into the quarterfinals.
And if the United States wins this game, Germany would play Russia in the quarterfinals. But that'll be a very different German team than the one we saw earlier in the tournament.
It's not even close. I mean, first of all, they've got a full roster. They've got their #1 goaltender back. Got one of the most productive lines in the tournament, too, is Peterka and Stützle flank Elias, and they have scored virtually all of Germany's goals.
We see that quarterfinal format at all the IHF tournaments we do, and invariably, every year, there's at least one upset. A lower seed beats a higher seed.
And some years it looks like it should never happen, but it always does.
Andre plays it across. Broberg shoots. Knight doesn't look back. It drops beside him. Grab for Andre. How'd that stay out? I think Jake Sanderson might have saved a goal there.
Sunsfeet knows he's got the open side. Knight doesn't know where the puck is, and he goes to wrap it, and it just somehow stays out of the net.
Broberg.
Oh, boy. Sanderson almost clobbered Broberg going around the back of the net. Broberg does this rush, and he just goes behind the net. He's done it a couple of times, and he's headed to the far post, and Sanderson just misses him.
Niebeck with it. Drops it back for Berzelius. Back for Niebeck. Now Johansson, a long shot. That goes wide. Here's Soderstrom back at the point with it. That shot was blocked in a race for it. Slaggert's away. In comes Landon Slaggert, a rolling puck from a sharp angle, and it rolls through the crease. Now Colangelo with it. Colangelo back at the point. Johnson, a shot that deflects over the glass and out of play.
There is Jake Sanderson, and Broberg comes around the back of the net. Look at this. Oh, he just misses him. Broberg never sees him. Here's the Sunsvik chance. He wants to go wrap it, and he doesn't get enough of a hook onto the shot, and Knight goes across to make the saves. There's the initial shot, through his legs, out wide. Oh, he's got the whole net. He's worried that Sanderson's going to poke the puck away, so he shoots it quickly. If he takes just a half a stride more, that's in the open net.
Last year, there were 2 lower seeds that won a quarterfinal matchup. The Finns defeated the United States, and Russia beat Switzerland. Yes, Russia was the lower seed in that game. In comes Holmstrom with it. Plays it back in the corner. Kosmar shoots. It goes off a foot. Bjornfot had moved up for Sweden. Broberg feeds it back. Holmstrom, a shot that bounces wide. Broberg calling for it from Gunler. And Broberg moves it. And we've watched Broberg limp through the last couple of games. It's reminiscent of the 09 tournament in Ottawa, Ray. Victor Hedman, an outstanding defenseman, obviously, for Sweden, along with Erik Karlsson in that tournament. But Hedstrom hurt his shoulder in the pre-tournament against Canada and basically played the entire tournament with one arm.
They're not going to miss the opportunity to play any of these kids if they can, to shoehorn themselves into the tournament.
Hedman and Karlsson, a defense pairing in a junior tournament. 4-0, United States leads here in Edmonton. Time now for Gear Up. We'll skip the dishes, and tonight we'll pay tribute to our audio crew. Our A1, our lead audio man, is Chuck Ivey. Our A2s are Ricky Gale and Mike Cleesby. Our A2 up here in the booth with us, and does way more than that, is Tim Knight. And our secondary A1 is Gabe Scopa.
It concerns me that Tim, who's looking after us up here, they show him, and he's unplugging and plugging things. Why do I think I've got something to do with that?
Yeah.
I've not been a help up here.
Skip the Dish is the official food delivery app of Hockey Canada. That's why these games sound as good as they do. Bouncing puck in front. Bjornfot knocked it down. And here's Zegras. Down to Turcotte. Turcotte tries to spin it back. And now Zegras spins and shoots. That's blocked. He plays it back across. And Kalyev's one-timer was blocked by Broberg. And then Kalyev took down Broberg, and he'll get a penalty. Arthur Kalyev, the native of Staten Island in New York, will go off. Plays for the Hamilton Bulldogs in the Ontario League.
28 U.S. minor penalty. Trip.
Diving for the puck to keep it alive, and Sweden will go on the power play.
This is only the 5th time the United States has been shorthanded in the tournament.
Really impressive discipline by the U.S. to stay out of the box, to not stress your penalty killers, and maybe Sweden can find something here.
Their power play is 5 for 14 in the tournament. Gunler leads the way with a couple of goals in the power play, but right away the Americans win the draw. Slaggert won it and heads off. Fogo. Face off, get off. That was never you, was it? Go win the draw and then get off?
Why would you want to do that? That's boring.
Exactly. I'm not with you.
No, there's nothing worse though. What I take a draw on the power play, lose it, and the guy zips it down the ice, and you know the other 4 guys are burning a hole, and you did you win that draw?
Raymond back for Sullivan. Shoots off the post. He thought he scored. Sullivan thought that was in.
It's a good delivery for the big man as Soderblom takes that puck and drags into his feet, beats Knight, but just rings it off the post.
Broberg drops it off for Gunler. Oh, Gunler chips that down to the American zone. 3 to go here in the second period. Holmstrom chops at it. Gathers it back up, being watched there by Beniers. At the point is Broberg. Holmstrom feeds it back across. That skips away from Gunler. Broberg plays it back across to Holmstrom, to Gunler. And he tried to dust that puck off. That gave Beniers time to take it away. And Beniers feeds it down. Broberg drops it off to Holmstrom. 10 seconds to go in the Swedish power play. Around the boards it goes. Farinacci picks it up and chips it back down to the Swedish zone. No shots on goal for Sweden on that power play. They scarcely threatened.
Never set up once, really, and looked dangerous. The one chance off the goalpost was off a rush, Raymond to Soderblom.
Berzelius works in. Lost the puck to York, and now Zegras has it back. Zegras lays that down to the Swedish zone. Back goes Johansson for it. Soderstrom to Nybeck. And Nybeck shovels that rink wide for Olsson. Olsson turned back by Thrun. Johansson shoots from traffic. Knight makes the stop. Nybeck digging for the rebound. It was out of his reach. Nybeck, by the way, is N-Y-B-E-C-K. In Swedish, N-Y is knee, like Nylander, to which Gustav Nyquist has always pointed out his real name is pronounced Nyquist. But ever since he got to the NHL, he's been called Nyquist. He's just
never-ending list of that stuff.
He just never bothered. Niederbach spins and shoots. That goes off a leg and wide. Run. Plays it across to Johnson. Chips it down. He's Time winds down here in the period. Bjornfot turns it over. Caulfield on it. Bjornfot bounces that down. Raymond on it. And Sanderson spins back. Kosmar looks ahead for Gunler. And Jake Sanderson is ranged back to take that away.
And he covers a lot of ground. So easy. We talked about Craig Johnson wearing number 23, as does Ryan Johnson. Jeff Sanderson always wore number 8, as does Jake Sanderson.
So the United States now with a 4-0 lead after 2 periods of play, a period away from taking top spot in Group B. Happy New Year from Edmonton. It's the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship. Our second intermission is coming up.
Character, integrity, respect. If we bring good sportsmanship on and off the ice, we can help end bullying.
The college football playoff semifinals come your way tomorrow. Number 4 Notre Dame take on number 1 Alabama, and that's followed by a clash between number 3 Ohio State and number 2 Clemson. It begins at 4 Eastern and rolls all night long on TSN. James Duffy and Bob McKenzie back with your second intermission. When you know it's not your night, part 1 would be the goaltending. You said it after 1. They probably should have lifted him after 2. Ray said during that period they lifted him an hour too late. You could just tell he was off.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't mind saying it now because I thought Wallstedt, playing as well as he did last night, even on a back-to-back, might have been the logical choice. Although, you know what? Maybe we're blaming the goaltender in Sweden. Just doesn't have any jump after last night's game. But Allenfelt struggled right from the get-go. He couldn't glove the puck properly. The bad angle. He didn't get over and close off that one on Zegras. And then in the second period, though that one, there's not much he could do about that. And even I'm going to give him a pass on that one. But 2 goals in a minute and 55 seconds in the second period. And that was all she wrote for Allenfelt, the Tampa Bay prospect, who's a really good goalie and has played very well in Sweden this year. But this Wallstedt kid, that is eligible for this year's draft and is probably going to be a top 15 pick, maybe a top 10 pick, in the same mold as Spencer Knight and Yaroslav Askarov, the Russian goaltender. These young goalies are great, and Wallstedt, I don't know what they'll do for the game against the Finns, presuming they lose this one,
right.
And it is Finland that they see. You got a goaltending decision to make, but for me, I'd go Wallstedt.
You know it's not your night, part 2. You're trying to get back in the game. You finally get an opportunity on a penalty shot. You make a great move, and
Yeah, exactly. Jackson Lacombe comes back and creates the infraction on Kosmar, the Vancouver prospect, who's been a real good player, a bit of an agitator, got a little bit of offensive bite to him. No doubt about it on the call. That's got to be a penalty shot. Spencer Knight still made the save, even though Kosmar didn't really get a good one off. But Victor Soderstrom, this is such a good defenseman. He's so slick. But, and as Ray said, he had Spencer Knight totally, completely beaten. Knight basically caught an edge and fell down. The net was wide open, and that should give you some idea of the night, the way that has gone for Sweden. And as I said off the top, you can big fault with the goaltenders all you want, but we haven't heard Raymond's name much. We haven't heard Holtz's name much. It just looks like there was a real emotional letdown, and I guess falling behind 2-0 early might do that as well, but they got nothing in the tank tonight.
Alex Turcotte has one of the American goals, and he's standing by with Ryan Rashad.
Alex, your team's getting lots of offense, but you're keeping it out of your own net as well. What's gone so well for you on both sides of the puck?
Yeah, I think Nider's been really great today for us. He's made a lot of really good saves there in the second to keep us with that 4-goal lead. And I mean, I think we could have played a little bit better there in the second, but got a few bounces, they hit a few posts, and I think we'll be a lot better there in the third.
You scored your first World Junior goal. You played in the tournament last year as well. Compare how you feel night in, night out, your second time around compared to last year.
Yeah, I think I know kind of what to expect in this tournament. There's a lot of ups and downs, so I think this year I'm a little bit more mature and I was mentally ready for it, and I think I've had the right attitude and just been working hard, and I think I've controlled everything I could, and I'm getting the bounces now, so it's nice.
Thanks, Alex.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Hey, happy 2021 to Alex Newhook, Dawson Mercer's home province, Newfoundland, Jordan Spence, home province, PEI, Sid and Nate's home province, Nova Scotia. 2021 working its way across the country.
For more than 80 years, Esso has supported Canadian hockey with programs like the Esso Medals of Achievement, Esso Fun Days, and the Esso Cup through our long-standing partnership with Canada's national teams. Esso, proud premier partner of Hockey Canada.
Turn it over. Now Dylan Cousins in, shoots, scores! Dylan Cousins fires it home, and once again, Canada strikes early.
Cousins drives the bus again. Canada's up 1-0.
Pickrell trying to draw it around. Does! Renish hits the save. Nice move there. Jack Quinn lets it high in the air. Busting in. Peltier with a chance and a pad save made by Piernan. What a play that was. Back up for Baranek. Luzik heading to the front of the net. Loves it down. Score! Pickrell. This line's been good.
Here's your updated tournament scoring leaders. Trevor Zegras was also top 5 in hair in the tournament. 13 points now, 2 more than Canada's Dylan Cousins so far to lead the way. Cousins, Zegras, Stützle, the top 3 players there, probably the early candidates for the best player in the tournament so far, but a long way to go with quarters, semis, and a gold and bronze medal game ahead. But Dylan Cousins, once again for Canada, he wears that C even though Kirby Dach is still the captain. He alternates with Bowen Byram, and he showed captaincy today, wouldn't you say?
When I pull emotional bellwether out of the garbage bag full of cliches, it is always warranted. I don't do it that often, although that would be a redundancy on cliches, I guess. But, I mean, he just comes out, plays the game like a man against boys sometimes. So strong on the puck and just stole the puck away, went down, scored a goal. Very similar to a play against the Slovaks. This time, he gets the puck up to Tomasino, headbands it. That iced the hockey game. It was 1-0 at that point, and then that made it the 2-0 goal. And then in the third period, even here, again, now it creates another turnover. And we were talking right after the game. There's no such thing as an easy empty net goal when a guy like Dylan Cousins does it, because it was all hard work and determination. And I know we're getting sick of the nickname already, but it's true. The workhorse from Whitehorse.
I told you, now you owe Craig another $6 because he copyrighted it. Here are your quarterfinals if this score remains the same. Canada versus the Czech Republic. We know that one is set. It will be the 3rd quarterfinal on Saturday. Sweden would play Finland. Russia would play Germany, and the Americans would play Slovakia, the 4th place team in Group A. So Canada and the Czech Republic. Note the time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern for the pregame show. That is, again, January 2nd. All 4 games back to back to back to back on TSN. Still time for the Swedes, but they have shown no signs of a comeback so far. The Americans looking to wrap up Group B on New Year's Eve on TSN.
U.S. gets 2 more in the second period as Ryan Johnson, Alex Turcotte scored. Trevor Zegras with 2 more assists in that period is climbing the American list of the all-time point getters. 27-22, the shots on goal in favor of the United States over Sweden. Gord Miller back here with Ray Ferraro. This has not been Sweden's night.
It's been ugly from almost the very second the puck hit the ice for the opening faceoff. Just over a minute into the game, a long wrist shot that Alnefelt can't catch. And then Hellison banks it off of Hugo Alnefelt's pad, and it's 1-0. Down 2-0, they get a penalty shot. Soderstrom loses it, it goes into the corner. Here's a wide open net for Sunsfeet. He doesn't come around quick enough, and as he tries to wrap it, he rings it right off of Spencer Knight's pad. And when you do get a good chance, clang, it's off the goal post. There has been virtually nothing that has gone Sweden's way tonight. They've been outskated, outplayed, and they haven't had any luck as well.
2 years ago in Victoria, the Swedes had a 4-0 lead on the United States after 2 periods, and the U.S. came back with 4 goals in the third to tie it. Ryan Palin got a hat trick in that game. Sweden won it in overtime. An icing called against the Swedes right off the hop. Should the United States win this game, they would play Slovakia in the last quarter, 10 a.m. local time, Russia, Germany. That's if the score holds. We've seen stranger things, and a couple of days ago, Germany had a comfortable 4-0 lead against Switzerland that got very uncomfortable in a hurry.
Yeah, Switzerland had only scored 1 goal in the tournament at that point. Then all of a sudden, that game was 5-4. So,
and Switzerland had an unbelievable chance at 5-4 late in the third.
Another big game offensively for Trevor Zegras, a goal and a couple of helpers. The Anaheim pick has just been money these last 2 World Junior tournaments.
What do you think he projects to in the NHL?
I think a two center or a second line winger. I think he can produce. I mean, it's funny to watch these guys and then think that they're not going to produce, of course, at the same rate in the NHL, or else you're a superstar. But I think Zegras is going to be a point producer. I really do. I think he's too smart, too clever. He's got good imagination to go along with some really good skills.
Turcotte wins that draw back to Sanderson, who backhands it back in. Here's Niederbach on it. Theodor Niederbach of Sweden. That's not free. I know a Theodore in Canada, a young man, and if you call him Teddy, his mom will box your ears. It's Theodore. That puck bounces way high in the slot, knocked down. Right, Raymond?
Well, that was for a long time, and then eventually only my mother, and she even called me that when she wasn't angry at me, which was good news.
Zegras for Kaliev. In comes Kaliev, centers it. Zegras back with it. Long shoot in, and that pass just missed Kaliev. Wanting back the other way is Johansson. And Albert Johansson, the defenseman, brings it in. Brink drops that back for Farinacci. Soderstrom to Holmstrom. Holmstrom back with it. Then Gunler walks in, drops it back for Holmstrom, and Johnson knocks that away.
Gord, that's a really good example of how slowly the Swiss are reacting. They've got a turnover, a chance, or the Swedes rather, and they've got a turnover, a chance, get the puck to the net. But instead they try a little 10-foot pass. The U.S. does a nice job back checking, and there's no play.
Andre tripped down Slangert there. And now Clevin back for it. Brisson across to Lacombe. Swedes have 2 medals in the last 5 years in the tournament. Silver and a bronze. Won the bronze medal last year, won the silver medal when they lost to Canada in the final in Buffalo in 2018. Here's Holtz with it. Lead pass to Broberg. Wonder how much we'll see him in the third period. Clevin slams down Broberg, and that draws a crowd.
We're good. Use your head. We're good. Good job, Phillips. We're good here. Let's go. Let's go. Yellow.
And Broberg has been hit 3 times, well, twice tonight. Twice by Clevin tonight, and once where Jake Sanderson just missed him behind the net. This play is offside, and Clevin finishes right through. Broberg takes a big hit. That's a late hit.
That's late, isn't it? I mean, I'm gonna say, like,
in international standard, that's a late hit. And there's no need for Philip Broberg to be playing here. He's had a difficult couple of days. He's been banged up. He didn't play against Russia after sitting out against Austria. He's sitting on the bench right behind Ludwig Hedstrom. And
well, we saw him against Russia last night, Ray. I mean, he was really laboring late in the game. Zegras backhands it out. Niebeck slides that back. Niebeck feeds that back, rolling puck. And York, the American captain, plays it across to Brock Faber. Faber's one of 3 University of Minnesota defensemen playing in this tournament for Team USA. Zegras moves in. Soderblom knocks that away. And Sanderson back with it. Sanderson at North Dakota. Kalya. Jacob Bernard Docker, a former member of Canada's national junior team, is also in North Dakota, also an Ottawa draft pick. In comes Heineman. He gets a race in the corner by Helleson. Helleson opened the scoring second into this game with a sharp angle shot on Hugo Alnefelt, and that kind of set the tone for the night for Sweden. Andre spins back. Emil Andre plays it back across for Hedstrom. Out to Holmstrom, and he got tied up there by Berard. And now Hedstrom drops it back. So the United States, Ray, after that 5-3 loss, as Colangelo busts in their opener. That shot by Brisson knocked away to Russia. Hasn't allowed a goal.
They've scored 22 straight goals since that empty netter against the Russians.
Brisson. Jan play at the side of the goal. Ballstead knocked that away. Bjornfot lays it down, nice and called against Sweden.
Well, it's been one of those nights, a long night for Philip Broberg. He's been banged up a little bit. This was after a hit in the first period. He's stretching out his left arm, stretching out his neck a little bit. Now getting looked at in the third period after that latest collision. He's got a lower body, he's got an upper body, he's got basically general soreness. This is a guy that's going to need a day off.
He'll get one, and the way the schedule looks right now, the United States, or Sweden rather, would play in the second quarterfinal game of the day. Sunday's a day off in the semifinals on Monday. Steel Buccaneers moving in. And the gold and bronze medal games are on Tuesday. Puck went over and out with 13:56 to go here in the third period. Time now for the Gatorade shift of the game.
After Victor Soderstrom loses the puck on a penalty shot where the Swedes could have been on the board, 21 seconds later, Alex Turcotte has his first of the tournament, and the U.S. had a 4-0 lead.
Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Broberg's back out there for the Swedes now.
I don't know how much he needs to be playing. Actually, I don't think he needs to be playing at all here. They're down 4-0. The likelihood of scoring 4 is pretty slim. Maybe you give him another couple of shifts or see if the Swedes can get something on the game. But man, there's just no point putting him back on the ice here.
Raymond loose in the corner, drops it down to Bjornfot, who's jumped in.
Well, let's not forget here for the Swedes that their head coach Thomas Monton is at home in Sweden. He tested positive for COVID along with the rest of the coaching staff. So you've got a real young, inexperienced coach in Joel Ronmark, 30 years old, coaching this team. And I don't know, maybe he's got to put his foot down here and say enough's enough. Maybe it's hard, but if you're behind the bench, you got to make that decision. For me, it's the wrong decision to keep putting Broberg out. I thought they were slow in getting Alnefelt out of the game. He should have been out in 4 minutes, in my opinion. Taking him out at 4-0, like the ship's left the harbor.
Brendan Brisson got dumped. Now tap back across and put high in the air by Heineman, and the play is offside at the American line.
There is Ronmark, the 30-year-old. He's been the assistant the last couple of World Junior tournaments to Monton, but it's a lot different when you step 4 feet into the middle of the bench where you're the guy in the middle.
We were talking to Igor Larionov about that today. The Russian coach, his first time as a head coach, is at this World Junior. He's enjoying it, but he talked about, as the head coach, you've got so many responsibilities. You're the tactician, you're the head psychologist.
You're managing not just the players, but your coaching staff as well.
Right. Sanderson tips that over the glass and out.
Closed captioning of the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship is brought to you in part by Yamaha. Revs your heart.
It's already 2021 in Atlantic, Canada. And in 20 minutes or so in the Eastern time zone, New Year's Day will arrive. Here's Caulfield. Team Canada 2020 from the World Junior Championship in the Czech Republic just named the Canadian Press Team of the Year in Canada. As Caulfield winds in, Olsson takes that away from him. Olsson with Gunler. And Gunler back for Olsson, tied up there by Helleson. That gold medal game from 2020 is going to be remembered for a very long time as one of the best ever played in this tournament. Beniers with a sharp angle shot, just dramatic. Shifts in momentum. Medal round awaiting us here. It promises more of the same. Turcotte throws that towards the goal, out of the reach of Henry Frun. Sundsvik up ahead for Holtz with Raymond. Holtz to Raymond. Works in across the Sundsvik with a shot. Knight comes across and makes a stop.
Sundsvik had a little more time. He had the entire left side of the net. His shot, like his wraparound in the second period, was too much towards where Spencer Knight already was, and Knight was able to make the save.
Lead pass for Zegras from Front, chipped down to the Swedish zone. Now Zegras gets loose. Soderstrom stays with him. Zegras, back for Cummins, shoots. Save made by Ballstedt, rebound, flipped wide by Farinacci.
Ballstedt looked sharp here. He came into the game and he's now faced 10 shots and he's 10 for 10. Complicating that goaltending decision, Gord, as you mentioned, when he came in for Alnefelt.
Alnefelt's the 19-year-old. Ballstedt's 18, can return next year. That long shot triples wide of the goal from Andre. Heineman back at the point, held there by Hedstrom. Hedstrom's shot was off a stick and way up and out of play. 9:37 to go here in the third period. It's New Year's Eve at the World Junior Hockey Championship.
Sometimes the news you get isn't very good news. Joel Ronmark gets a chat from the assistant coach who heads down to tell Philip Broberg, that's enough. You're done for today. But they're looking up at the clock. Broberg, like every other player I know, is now trying to work his way and litigate his way back into the game. But the answer is he doesn't need to be on the ice. That's the right decision for the Swedes.
Kvist back for it. Moves out ahead. Berzelius. Faber up to center ice. Andre knocks it down. And Kvist back for it. Kvist moves ahead. Faber smoothly took that away. A new format unveiled last year at the World Junior Championship will stay here this year. After the quarterfinals, the teams are reseeded, so the teams are ranked 1 through 8 going in the quarterfinals. It's not brackets. It used to be the winner of 1A and 2B played the winner of 2B, 1A, and that's different now. So they'll rank it 1 to 8. The highest seed will face the lowest seed. The middle two will play. And that's a lot of, because when you think back to a lot of international tournaments, for example, think back to the Olympics in Salt Lake City in 2002. It was a trip by Raymond. Belarus beat Sweden in the quarters. And so Canada got Belarus in the semifinal. U.S. got Russia. So they reseeded that way to try to make it a little more even. And now the penalty comes to Raymond.
18 Sweden, minor penalty.
Raymond swings his stick, trying to get the puck, and ends up with the tripping penalty. The best part of the quarterfinals is they're in last year. Or rather, this game here, it's in last year.
Right.
The quarterfinals are in the new year. You can wash this away. You got a day to relax and maybe think about how the coaches can think about how they might change their lineup or ways to attack, but it's all gone after this.
Now you're the single elimination. Angle shot knocked away. The example's often been made, you know, Scotty Bowman's great Montreal team in 76-77, they had 60 wins, 8 losses, 12 ties that year. They went 14-2 in the playoffs. They lost 2 playoff games. Probably the greatest NHL team of all time. In this format, you lose a playoff game, you're done.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what the rest of the year is like.
York had that bounce off his stick, and now Boldy with it. Now York winds his way out. Caulfield for Zegras. Back to Cole Caulfield. 1 goal in the tournament so far for Caulfield. Kaliev for York. Zegras with it to Boldy. Back for Zegras. Caulfield, a quick shot that was off the leg of Bjornfot. Sundsvik banks that down. He got dropped at the American line. First on it is Henneman for the Swedes. They lost the puck to Brink. And here is Jake Sanderson with it. His dad was a 2-time gold medalist for Canada at the World Championship. Brisson to Brink. Back to Brendan Brisson. Drops it back for Turcotte. Leaves it back to Sanderson. Sanderson a long shot that was blocked by Kosmar. A chance for the Swedes, but Kosmar stick broke on the shot block. Brink another chance.
Oh, what a save.
Oh, terrific stuff by Wallstedt. Rebound that's knocked away.
Really impressive work.
2 shots on the power play. Now chance for Raymond out of the box. In, shoots it wide. Inside 6 to go in the 3rd period. Niederbach with it. Andre plays it back in the corner. Here's Raymond. Lucas Raymond back to Soderstrom. Walks in a little backhand shot. Stopped by Knight at the line. Held by Raymond, who's backing up the defenseman. Raymond feeds it back to Holtz. Pass too far for Andre. Colangelo can't lift it up. Andre plays it right back in. Colangelo pokes out. Andre back to pick it up for Soderstrom. Lead pass for Raymond. Raymond tees it up and shoots. Punched away by Knight. Now Holtz lost the puck at discarded stick. Slaggert moves ahead. Down to Berard. Johnson, a long shot. That goes high and wide. Raymond on it. And Hellison has it skipped by him. Alex Branston, who has hardly played in this game, moves it out. The defenseman for Sweden is Branston back for it, number 26. So with Broberg parked for the night, he gets some ice time. Soderstrom feeds it back across, and that shot taken by Holmstrom goes up and out of play. Nothing going for the Swedes here tonight. They're down 4-0 to Team USA. Oh, look at that. Coming up on SportsCenter after the show, it's Jermaine Franklin and Natasha Staniszewski, who is a hero here in Edmonton, her hometown.
How'd they get into the bubble? I guess you got to know people.
She's got pull here. Jermaine's down in Calgary for a long time, so I don't know about that. You know, the Calgary-Edmonton thing. So as it stands now, assuming the United States can close this out, Russia-Germany will be at noon Eastern time on Saturday, followed by Finland-Sweden at 3:30. Then actually a shot that deflects wide. Canada, the Czech Republic will be at 7 Eastern. Followed by the USA and Slovakia at 10:30 Eastern. So the 4 quarterfinals played one after the other instead of 2 buildings as is normally the case. It's going to be a great day of hockey. Germany's in the quarterfinal for the first time in its history. Tim Stützle has been electrifying in this tournament. Niederbach with it, flips it down. Heineman trying to center it. That's knocked away from him. Inside 3 to go now. A big hit there by Hedstrom as he knocked down Slaggert. Andre. Had it taken away by Beniers. Beniers with Caulfield. Told Caulfield for the trailer. Holding in, shoots. Volstead makes the stop and hangs on.
Each save, in my book, he's building a better case to start the quarterfinal game. Yes, for Volstead, the 18-year-old draft-eligible goaltender has to handle Matt Boldy from 15 feet away, and he makes the blocker save. Volstead is thought to be rated in the same range as Askarov went last year, number 11 to Nashville. Always a little tricky projecting goaltenders, but by far the most highly rated goaltender in this year's class.
Sweden won the gold at 2019 IHF Under-18 tournament. He was the top goaltender at .936 save percentage in that tournament. The wrist pass picked off by Kaliev. Kaliev couldn't reach it. A wraparound try. Volstead knocks that away. Back at the line, here's York with it, lays it back in. Kaliev peels back. Sweden's going to lose back-to-back in this tournament for the first time in more than 15 years in the preliminary round. But maybe they can reverse it and have some success in the medal round.
Sure. One tournament doesn't matter to the next. We all know that.
Right.
It's, you know, different players, different years, different events, different arenas. But you know they'll be selling that to each other, and the coaches will be selling that to them as well.
Knocked down by Farinacci to Brink. Minutes to go in the third period. Holmstrom had it knocked away by Sanderson. Brisson drops it down to Farinacci. Andre with it. Knocked away from him, Olesen. Drops it back for Sunsby. Shoots! And Knight makes the stop with 34 seconds to go. The other part of the story here is the 50-50 tonight is $7.6 million.
I'll tell you, Gord, if I win that, you're going to have a new color guy come to quarterfinals.
That's all that has to happen?
Nah.
Oh, was that out loud? Sorry.
Whoops. 7.6.
This is, by the way, the 50-50 capital of the world.
It is amazing.
Football games, hockey games, you name it. Last year in the Czech Republic, they ran a 50-50. The PA announcer would explain it in great detail. What happens is you win half the pot, and the other half goes to charity. So you get half, then they get half.
There was a time when the Oilers weren't so strong.
Oh, yeah.
Second, was it second commercial break?
Second TV timeout in the third period. People have their coats on, they'd be standing up, they'd announce the ticket numbers, and boom, the place would empty.
It's like the vendors were selling fire. Yeah. Everybody was out there. I don't got the winner. Boom, gone. Hugo Alnefelt had a really difficult night. 4 goals on 21 shots. The first 2 from almost impossible angles. And then Jesper Wallstedt came in, and he's been perfect. That'll be another of the decisions for Joel Ronmark and the Swedish coaching staff.
Brisson flips it in, and the United States will win Group B. The United States with a 4-0 win, 3 consecutive shutouts for American goaltenders. Spencer Knight has his second. And the United States will take on Slovakia in the quarterfinal on Saturday. Sweden will face its arch rivals from Finland in another. It'll be Canada versus the Czechs in the third quarterfinal, and Germany against Russia in the first. USA-Slovakia will be the last game of the day, the late start. And time now for the player of the game presentations, and then the Star-Spangled Banner as we reach the end of 2020. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
The best players of each team is presented by Explore Edmonton, the visitor economy and venue management organization for Edmonton. Each winner will be awarded with a custom wallet from local maker Close General Leather Company. Recipients will receive their award after they exit the ice. The best player of Team Sweden est le numéro 16, number 16, Theodor Niederbach. The best player of Team USA est le numéro 15, number 15, Alex Turcotte. Et maintenant, pour l'hymne national, for the national anthem of Team USA.
The 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton, Alberta is brought to you in part by Esso. The Esso brand has fueled Canada's love of hockey for over 80 years. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey teams. By TELUS, helping build stronger communities on and off the ice. When we give back together, we're all connected for good. And by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Team Canada.
Premier partner of Hockey Canada, Tim Hortons has supported minor hockey for over 35 years through the Timbits Hockey Program and its commitment to developing teamwork, confidence, and social skills in an inclusive environment. Timbits Hockey, where the first goal is having fun.
The 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton, Alberta is brought to you in part by Chevrolet. Find new reasons to cheer. Find new roads.
James Duthie back with you. First of all, Happy New Year to everybody in the Eastern time zone. I think it happened right in the middle of the American National Anthem. This is the biggest stat of the night, though. The 50-50 draw tonight, $7.648 million it closes at. Almost $8 million in a 50-50 draw. Here are your final standings from Group B. The Americans win it. Russia ends up second, Sweden third, the Czech Republic fourth, and Austria's tournament is over. Over in Group A, this was settled earlier with Canada's victory over Finland. Germany comes third, Slovakia fourth, and Switzerland is done. So what does that mean? It means we have 4 quarterfinals for you on January the 2nd. Russia will play Germany in the first one. Finland versus Sweden, that old rivalry renewed. Canada versus the Czech Republic, 6:30 Eastern. We're on the air for the pregame show. And the U.S. with the top seed in Group B plays Slovakia. Well, it was a long year, but it's officially 2021 everywhere but BC. We'll get there shortly there. Have a great new year, and let's hope for all of us 2021 has brighter days ahead. Lots of great hockey ahead from the bubble in Edmonton at the World Juniors.